now moving towards the point with the downtown stadium project in the city of Buffalo of really taking it to the next level as far as public relations. When you look at the downtown stadium project in the city of Buffalo, you must first examine why we're at this point, and certain questions must be answered. Renovating Ralph Wilson Stadium is one of the worst ideas that I have heard. I think it is an idea that hurts the Western New York community and the Western New York region. By spending $200 million or more, and I think more, because we have studied more than 4 to 5 different renovation projects in the NFL. In Chicago, Illinois, their renovation cost $365 million. Kansas City, Missouri, $375 million. New Orleans, Louisiana, $336 million. Green Bay, Wisconsin was the lowest one, and it was $295 million. The building of a stadium in downtown Buffalo is one decision that changes the landscape of opportunity in the Western New York region. You see, we are not just talking about a new home for the Buffalo Bills home games, but a facility with a retractable roof that can be used year-round for a variety of events. This multi-use stadium project will attract various conventions, concerts, festivals, trade shows, and etc. to Western New York. The plan is not just a stadium, but it must be a plan for the total upgrade of our convention space, meeting rooms, and pre-function space. Once this master plan is implemented, hotel investors will be ready to build and invest in the Buffalo, New York downtown area. Indianapolis, Indiana was one city that put forth a very aggressive convention center expansion project, which included 254,000 square feet of exhibit space, 63,000 square feet of meeting rooms, 103,000 square feet of pre-function space. The convention center itself expanded to 566,000 square feet, with an additional 113,000 square feet of meeting rooms and 62,173 square feet of ballroom space. They also built skywalks that connected more than 7 commercial blocks in their downtown area, whereas with inclement weather, pedestrians patronizing downtown did not have to go outside. Let's take a look at the Louisiana Superdome, a renovation project that did make sense. And the reason it made sense is that the Louisiana Superdome is located in the heart of the convention space of New Orleans, Louisiana. After Hurricane Katrina in 2005 and the damage of the Superdome, it was renovated with a cost of $336 million. $153 million was obtained through FEMA. Since the first phase of the renovation was completed in 2006, the fiscal impact has been $4.1 billion to the Louisiana economy. The Saints lease, which was part of the renovation agreement with the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana, runs through 2025. By its end, the Superdome will return 58 times the investment to the state of Louisiana. The funding sources for this renovation was $153 million from FEMA. The state of Louisiana contributed $121 million. It includes $85 million in enhancement upgrades. They sold LCED bonds for $44 million, were financed from post-Katrina. The NFL provided $15 million in a non-reimbursable funding grant. The total was $336 million. From this example of the renovation of a stadium and its relationship to its NFL franchise, I must ask the question of why the Bills and the county only discussing a 10-year or less lease with such a request of public outlay. When you compare it to New Orleans and the New Orleans Saints, who agreed to a minimum of 15 years running from 2010 to 2025, it seems that the Bills are not being fair to the taxpayers of Western New York. The Buffalo Bills have had 2 leases with the county and the Stadium of Orchard Park, New York, during their existence, one for 25 years, the other for 15 years respectively, which includes a modification of the lease in 2008, giving the Bills permission to move 8 games north of the border to Toronto for more than $76 million. Plus, they still received their game operational costs from the Erie County government of some $925,000 per game, even though these games would not be played in Ralph Wilson Stadium. Another factor in building a stadium in downtown Buffalo is to look at a study done by TomTom GPS data looking at NFL cities and the worst game day traffic. According to this particular study, the Washington Redskins have the worst game day traffic with a 57% speed reduction from normal pace on the road surrounding the stadium. Well, you would never guess who is tied for second place. It is us, with our arch nemesis, the New England Patriots. Yes, our Buffalo Bills, with a slowdown pace of 55% on the road surrounding Ralph Wilson Stadium, means that the location of Ralph Wilson Stadium makes that the issue of attending games in Western New York a virtual nightmare to the faithful that go to the games in Orchard Park, despite the efforts that were made last year to close down Abbott Road. Game days traffic still has not improved in attending games in Orchard Park. There has been very little improvement in traffic flow on game day, and that makes attendance to a 3-hour game a 9 to 10 hour adventure, in which you see yourself just sitting in traffic for minutes on end, just trying to get to and fro a stadium for a football game. Building a new stadium in downtown Buffalo would absolutely improve the traffic to and from the game, and also parking would improve with the use of the Metro Rapid Transit system and incorporating that in getting people that attend football games to and from the game without very little traffic congestion, spreading the traffic throughout the city of Buffalo. According to the Buffalo Bullet blog poll, their results of a stadium poll for a new stadium in downtown Buffalo, or would you rather renovate the stadium in Orchard Park, it came out 87% for a new stadium and 12% would rather see the stadium renovated. WFOAM.com random poll was 76% for a downtown stadium and 23.8% for renovating Ralph Wilson Stadium. Buffalo Rumblings polls showed 55% were in favor of a downtown stadium, where 44% were for renovating Ralph Wilson Stadium, from a random sample of 1,328 participants. If you look at a lot of other comparisons in supporting a downtown stadium, one of them is to look at the NFL team revenue. NFL team revenue and franchise values have increased dramatically as a result of public financing. By year 7, the average revenue increase from year 1 for teams with new stadiums was almost $90 million compared to $68 million for teams without new stadiums. NFL teams with new stadiums realized an $84 million increase in franchise value after its first season in the new stadium. During that same period, the average franchise increase for teams without new stadiums was only $24 million. By year 7, the average franchise increase from year 1 for teams with new stadiums was over $510 million compared to $427 million for teams without new stadiums. If you examine the listed numbers, I just have a tough time understanding why our leadership here and the Buffalo Bills organization is not even entertaining the notion of a new stadium in downtown Buffalo. The second area which I would like for you to look at is the naming rights and the cost of stadiums over the last 15 years. This is just some of the NFL stadium naming deals and some of their costs. M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland was built in 1998. A cost to build of $220 million. Naming rights was sold 15 years, $75 million. Reliance Stadium in Houston, Texas was built in 2002. Cost to build was $352 million. Naming rights, 32 years, $320 million. The Sports Authority Field at Mile High Stadium in Denver, Colorado was built in 2001. Cost to build was $365 million. Naming rights, 25 years, $150 million. University of Phoenix Stadium in Glendale, Colorado. Cost to build $455 million. Naming rights, 26 years, $154 million. Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana, built in 2008. Cost to build $720 million. Naming rights, 20 years, $122 million. In closing, I would like to say that recently the Buffalo News reported that there was some progress made in extending the lease to Ralph Wilson Stadium. But then again, they came out later and said that it would not meet the deadline set by the county executive before training camp that a deal would be in place in principle. That they are now saying that the deal in place in principle might not get done until the end of the year. This should be an indication to our elected officials that the only way that you can secure your NFL team in any city is to make sure that you have a new stadium. There is no team in history that has left an NFL city because it has built a new stadium. A new stadium locks the Buffalo Bills and their commitment to Western New York in with a long and exclusive lease that benefits not only the Buffalo Bills but the citizens of Western New York for years to come, and builds a stadium with multi-use facility improvements upon Ralph Wilson Stadium that can be used not part of the year but all year round. This is why we are for building a new stadium in downtown Buffalo, not only for the Buffalo Bills but for the region of Western New York. This is a no-brainer investment in which we need to get done immediately. That is all for us here with our weekly sports update. The stadium summary and the fight continues for a new downtown stadium project in downtown Buffalo. We're looking for your assistance. Go online to Facebook, join the Downtown Stadium Project group, and sign the petition right there online. We need your help. We need your support. We need to change the regional economic condition of Western New York. Needs your help and assistance in this major project to make a change of the economic landscape of Western New York and all of its lying areas. By building a stadium in downtown Buffalo, you make an economic game-changing decision that will change the condition of all of our citizens. This is something that needs to be done. I am the mighty Opa.